This boy was so small that even a finger was longer than his body. In truth, he was the son of the giant king, but he was born deaf and mute, and his body was incredibly weak. Even ordinary townspeople dared to mock him, calling him a fool. He had already been robbed 3 times. Now, the only thing left on him was a pair of shorts. Everyone looked down on him, and yet, he made up his mind to become the greatest king of all. One day, Prince Baji wandered outside the city to play. Suddenly, he spotted a strange creature stealing money. Terrified, Baji turned to run, but the creature chased after him. It asked Baji who he was. Baji could only respond with sounds no one could understand. That was when Kage realized that Baji was deaf and mute. Strangely enough, these 2 beings from entirely different species were somehow able to communicate without difficulty. Kage pulled out a knife and threatened Baji, demanding that he hand over everything valuable he had. Baji quickly stripped off his clothes. Then, Kage told him to come back the next day, wearing something worth taking. Baji nodded vigorously and obediently ran off. When the townspeople saw the prince like that, they burst into laughter. But Baji kept smiling brightly anyway. Kage was the only one who could truly communicate with him. All his life, Baji had longed for a friend, so every day, he dressed in fine clothes and brought them to Kage. After some time, Kage began to take an interest in him. This time, when Baji left, Kage secretly followed him, wanting to learn more about who he really was. People on the street mocked Baji for being naked. Even children gathered around to laugh at him. Guilt crept into Kage's heart. When Baji returned to the palace, Kage finally realized the truth. Baji was a prince. Baji ran into the queen. She scolded him for constantly running around unclothed, saying it disgraced the royal family. She even mocked him, claiming he was unfit to inherit the throne, then turned and walked away. Later, Kage followed him into his room and saw Baji crying silently by himself. But Baji quickly wiped away his tears, forced a smile onto his face, and ran toward his father's chamber. In reality, Baji had been enduring ridicule in silence all along, even though he was suffering deeply inside. Summoning every ounce of strength he had, Baji shoved open the massive, heavy door. His towering, powerful father looked at him with gentle affection. The king had once defeated an entire army of monsters alone, saving his people from the brink of destruction. It was that single battle that founded the kingdom of Bas. But now, the king was gravely ill. He desperately hoped Baji would grow up quickly, so he could one day inherit the throne. And so, he appointed the strongest swordsman in the kingdom to serve as Baji's swordmaster. After the king's death, it was announced that Baji would inherit the throne. The news shocked the second prince. Daida. How could a brother he had once beaten nearly to death possibly be fit to rule? The queen made her decision immediately. She chose to forge the royal will and pass the crown to her own biological son, Daida.